I've heard people say, yeah, we might see the stock going to 5 trillion. Then you need 160 billion of net buying. That's like more buyers than sellers. That's an insane number. That's an insane number. The Elon premium. Early employees of SpaceX are all going to become multimillionaires. Every employee who joined before the first successful launch made, unless they sold early, more than $100 million. SpaceX lists in June 12th at 1.75 trillion. I've done a deep dive into this to get some numbers aligned that we can walk through. Comparing the upcoming 3 IPOs that are coming. SpaceX first, OpenAI next, and Anthropic then. Are collectively aiming to raise $550 billion. That's 3 IPOs coming in 2026. If you take the raised money of all the US IPOs combined from 2015 to 2025, the past 10 years, was $450 billion, right? So SpaceX is going first. They're going to raise money. That's going to suck a lot of liquidity out of every other stock or people. Like, cannot expect that there's 85 billion sidelined to throw into this. So that's just the raise. That's before it hits the market, right? Then also, so the retail bit, we're expecting that after that raise, there is going to be another 85 net buying pressure coming in to make the stock go up. This comparison of like the last 10 years to now, this year, scares me. Scary to me, honestly. Seeing this. That's number one. Scary. Then SpaceX wants 100x revenue, Nvidia trades at 25x, right? So at the current at the 1.75 trillion valuation, that's 100x revenue. Compared to Nvidia at 25, Tesla at 16, Alphabet at 11, Apple at 10, Meta at 7, Amazon at 4. and we are talking about buying at 100x revenue. Yes, the TAM.
Amazon is looking like a good buy right now.
Right?
It's looking like a good buy, especially when you see Blue Origin. Okay, it exploded, but for me, this is they're working. You know, it's not that they're gonna fail. So yeah, I might just go buy some Amazon.
So like here it also says even the Elon premium on Tesla only buys you a 16x multiple on revenue, where SpaceX is asking 6x premium on top of Tesla premium, right? Insane. So that's another number where I'm like, whoa, okay, maybe this valuation at this point might not really be backed by fundamentals. Yes, Elon premium, fine. Then the S1 quietly turned SpaceX into an AI company. The part that's like SpaceX itself, space, launch, and Starlink is only 5.5 trillion of the TAM that they address within the S1. The total TAM they claim is 28.5 trillion. Okay, think of that number. On next slide, I'll show you what that number actually means. But so the space part is only 5.5 trillion that they value. So you say the data centers in space, and we're gonna expand. The main TAM is AI. So it's serving AI users, it's serving SaaS applications, and that's the TAM that they see. It's like, because AI agents grow, like you have the Metcalfe's law, where like it's a network effect, and then agents are actually like double that. Like it's exponential of the exponential. And that's what this value is based on. That they're going to serve the future of AI. The rocket company is being sold as the world's biggest AI enterprise software story, right? It's the story of AI enterprises. Thinking about this then. Fundamentals, 700 billion worth at this point with the current businesses. And then the Elon premium would be $1 trillion, which is kind of crazy. These are the values, right? Like if Starlink currently is worth 150 billion, the launch is worth 300 billion, XAI is worth 160, Cursor is worth 60, X is negligible, and then others 27 billion. So that's a fundamental value, and then you pay $1 trillion extra in value for the Elon premium, and then that comes down to still paying 25x revenue, right? Next, the insider unlocks that you didn't touch on, Luca, which scares me. Because of the low float, that means there is a bunch of float coming on the market over the next year. You go from 5 or 10% to 100%. tradable, right? And you're going to see like on day 45, 20% comes on the market. On day 90, another 7% comes on the market. On day 105, another 7%. And the ladder goes up. So these people have been in. You saw this tweet about the millionaires, the people that have been working at Tesla, at SpaceX for the last 25 years or 15 years or whatever, right? That's 100 million for a few people. That's 10 million for another few. That's for all the early investors. They want to get out as well. They need some liquidity. So that's selling pressure that some buyer needs to absorb to keep the price going up. I've seen in crypto, I've done a bunch of launches that selling pressure is very hard to absorb, and especially the bigger the size. And we've never seen an IPO of this size, right? So that's billions of dollars that got to continuously buying, and that might be these pension funds, that might be the indexes. We don't know yet, but that's another red flag that scares me a bit. And then if you think including Elon, but he's not going to sell, right? Then we get to the 100% here. Anyway, next. So only 3 to 5% trades on day one, 60 billion chasing a 1.75 trillion cap. This is a benefit if you want to pump the price indeed. Low float, small inflows can pump the price. But then next is also, like a little calculator, how we can see how much is needed, how much net buying is needed to actually multiply. So what value are we value are we expecting this to go to? Are we looking at a 3 trillion valuation? Then we need 63 billion to 250 billion in net buying value. So that's...
Can you move the slider to 25 billion?
I have max to 5.
20. Yeah, it's
the max
net buying of the net buying required.
Yeah, so net
that's
buying.
100. Yeah.
If you get a net buying of 20 billion, the 5 billion to 20 billion,
6%.
Then you get a 6% gain, right? But like I've heard people say, well, we might see the stock going to 5 trillion. Then you need 160 billion of net buying. That's like more buyers than sellers. That's an insane number. So like, I don't know, like I was originally thinking, yeah, maybe it runs to 3, maybe it might run to 5, touch 5. But thinking about all these institutions that bought before, and then doing some research into when do banks actually sell their stuff, when do they take profit? On a cold IPO, they take profit at 20% gain. On an average IPO, they take profit at 70%, 17%. On a hot IPO, around 40. But so like, yes, even if it might run to 2.5 trillion, then the institutions start selling. And that selling pressure that you got to absorb as net buyers to keep the price going up. So these are just all little signs that make me think, maybe the bear case is actually stronger than the emotional casino that I would FOMO into because it's Elon, and I'm happy to pay the Elon premium. And last but not least, it's the TAM, the addressable market that SpaceX is targeting, where they base their valuation on, right? If you compare the current TAM of SpaceX that they mentioned in the S1, SpaceX TAM 28.5 trillion, USA GDP 31 trillion, China GDP 19 trillion. So SpaceX TAM is bigger than China. SpaceX TAM is also bigger than Nvidia, Germany, Japan, UK, and India combined. If we then look at it, If we then look at it, right, the Starlink TAM on itself, and this makes sense because it serves the world, is bigger than the GDP of UK. All right, not bad. But like just comparing all of these, I don't know, man. It's just like, maybe it's a bit extended. Yes, Elon Premium is cool. But is it worth more than the whole GDP of the US? What they're trying to serve? Like, a lot of things need to go well.
Very good questions. I think this not in my backyard factor for data centers is actually a big thing. So that's again part of the thesis here is, sure, you're comparing SpaceX to the size of countries, but at the end of the day, they're going to space. So they can realistically expand that large. And if we look at history, if you look at maybe the East India Trading Company, that was multiple times larger than any nation at the time, and it was a private company exploring the new world.